Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 81st episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me, as
the
always,
nonsense is through the roof.
is my friend, co-host, and a man whose room is as bare as his chin, Frederick.
God, I'm very poetic way to put
I'm
it.
very proud of that. I hope you realize.
I do see that this has been practiced hours ahead.
Yeah, so Freddy is moving house and he shaved. So that's the context you need for that epic intro.
In case you were horrifically confused.
Do you want to reveal what's still left in your room currently? Because I think you've only kept the bare essentials.
I'd say so. I'm sitting on a bad mattress. I've got my computer set up.
Nice.
A single chair, and then taking the center of the stage in this hollow shell of a room is the Dalton Master himself, Jake Chisel.
Brett Dalton cutout that he owns for inexplicable reasons. So
I've got a bit of a sad confession. I was going to tell you this off air, but
oh god.
So I folded him. All right, today.
That's it.
That's it.
That's pretty distressing. I wish you wouldn't have told me this on air.
I folded him to see if he could fit in the suitcase. He can't. So
what are you gonna do? I guess you have to strap him to the side of the plane.
Guess I have to book another seat for him.
Can't you fold him like more ways than he's meant to be folded?
I could. No.
This is such a serious convo.
The thing is, I could, but then I'm worried about whether or not he'd either snap, like to the point of no return,
emotionally,
physically, and mentally snap. And yeah, so there's a few possibilities I have to figure out. Well, I guess I'll run through that on the next pod. What happens to the man?
Yeah, you guys got to subscribe now to find out
the fate of Brett Dalton.
This epic chronicle.
Exclusive on the Poorly Planned Podcast.
God, sometimes I forget Brett Dalton's a real dude and not just the cardboard cutout in your room.
I'd argue he's more famous for the cardboard cutout than he is his actual real life happenings.
Well, anyway, I feel like this is a great setup for the tone of today's pod. It's gonna be a stupid one. I'll put it out there.
Okay, it's what we like.
It's a part 2, and we are in fact doing.
May I guess the part 2?
You may.
Give me 3 options.
Okay, Netflix Marvel series part 4. We're doing verses again. We're doing verses part 2. So we take 2 characters, put them against each other.
Yes.
I've come up with, and I've tried to make it a good mix of meme people and
then things that would actually happen in real life.
and some, because we're known, well, not known for, but comic book and superhero stuff is a forte of ours. So I have some more comic booky ones in there, and then I have just some the ones that I'll just put Brett Dalton there. That's the entire verses. Brett versus Dalton.
I'll start this out with your cardboard cutout of Vince Vaughn versus my Brett Dalton.
Do the listeners know that I have a cardboard cutout of Vince Vaughn? Should we tell this story as well, real quick? There are time codes in the description if you want to skip around. But a horrific story. So.
Oh my god, right.
So Freddy, I don't know how the chronology exactly. I'll tell it from my perspective. Basically, for Freddy's birthday, I thought it would be a great meme 2 years in a row. First year, I got him Brett Dalton life-size cardboard cutout. Second year, I'll get him another life-size cardboard cutout. I, of course, decide on Vince Vaughn, because why wouldn't I? Mm-hmm. I order it. Okay. I pay my hard-earned money for this thing.
I paid thousands of kroner.
And then Amazon, a few weeks later, tells me it is, and this is a very appropriate thing for a Vince Vaughn cardboard cutout, it is, in fact, undeliverable.
Undeliverable.
I get to Freddy's place one time, and his, I guess, was it your late birthday or Christmas gift or something?
So your birthday's around 2 months before my birthday, right? Mm-hmm. And like even a month before your birthday, I ordered this, and it was coming all the way from China. So it said it would take like maybe a month and a half. So like, all right, I order in good time, and then BHL Hudson himself, he sends me a picture of the Vince Vaughn undeliverable, and I lose my shit.
Yeah.
Because that same, I think 2 days earlier, my Vince Vaughn present to you had arrived.
I hate they had to specify whose Vince Vaughn present it was. That's how deep this is going.
I hate how both of us actually went for a Vince Vaughn card. There's so many people we could have done, and we both went for Vince Vaughn. And in fairness, I think I did the more appropriate thing in that yours is a miniature.
Yeah, Freddie got me a miniature. Mine was life size. Can I say the horrifying shock if we had both given each other? Because we have, and we'll get into this some other day, but we have like an absurd number of times where we've either said the same word at the same time or thought the exact same thing or sent each other the same video at the exact same second. It's very weird and kind of disturbing and kind of
it's a universal spiritual connection, I think.
We'll get to that some other time, but yeah, anyway. Versus. So we're gonna I'm gonna give
I totally forgot.
Let's just talk about cutouts as well. I'm gonna give that one to the Brett Dalton cutout because he's much bigger. Now, first on the list.
That's fair.
We're gonna start with a solid one.
Okay.
It's a cop v cop battle.
Oh.
It's Jacob Peralta from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
This is against who I think it's going to be.
And Jim Halpert. No, it's against Winston Bishop from
I was going to say, this is Winston Bishop.
So, Winston Bishop versus Jake Peralta. We should also explain real quick. So, this is just versus. And yes, by the way, this is kind of totally nabbed from the Weekly Planet. We hope we put our own twist on it, but the idea was certainly nabbed. Although, they don't have a monopoly on versus things, but also it was kind of.
They also don't have a cardboard cutout of Brett Dalton, so.
Also, I'm just clearly very upset that I've done this. I'm just trying to talk myself out of it. Anyway, just getting that out of the way.
You've got so many moral issues with this.
So credit to them. So we have these two characters.
And I love them, and they're the best.
They meet and they fight, and who would come out on top? It's pretty simple. So, who would win? Do you think?
All right. Well, so. One is the best detective in the 99th precinct. The other, Ferguson's dad and the carport hero.
Yeah, so you've answered nothing because you've given two incredible accomplishments.
That's two immovable objects right there. It's difficult.
Realistically, Jake Peralta would definitely smoke him.
I think from an actual perspective,
like a combat perspective,
I think Winnie the Bish would get smoked.
He's I think it's established he's a good cop, but he's not like.
He's also a detective now.
Well, yeah, is he? I guess also is Jake Peralta more of a? No, he's a cop. He's not a. Is he a? He is a detective.
Yeah,
but he's.
But he was a detective for longer, so I guess he's more.
And we've also seen him like in actual. I feel like we've seen him in more combat situations and more.
I can't imagine Winnie the Bish hunting down a criminal.
Well, we've also seen Jake Peralta in like actual relatively for the show like serious police situations where I feel like most of Winnie's have been comedic. As in, he has like fallen over the car or something a few times. I think that's happened. So, I think Jake Peralta.
I think we'll have to
tases
him
to Jake. Into oblivion.
He tases him, and he just becomes another taser that drops on the ground in front of him.
What? Okay, weird.
Don't lie.
Sci-fi adventure you've created here, and I love it. All right.
God.
So that's 1-0 Jake Peralta.
This is all Jake Peralta.
They just keep rematching.
Can I just say, for future, not that I'm shitting on this pod idea.
No,
but
that's fair.
We kind of do like Who'd You Rather Ellen style, where you start off with two people, and then whoever wins just keeps going,
Isn't Who'd You Rather do?
Yeah, but then it's like, but it's like...
So you're saying we do it with like combat scenario, like
combat
this
scenarios,
thing.
And then the ultimate champ.
I feel like you could have used a better example. Like it's a very simple like bracket idea, but fair enough. Okay.
No. This is the Ellen show we're talking about.
Next up, I like this one. Although it's very easy to decide, but I just enjoyed the thought of it.
Okay.
Dwayne Johnson versus Jason Statham, but in real life. Like the actual people. Because in the Fast and Furious films, it is presented as if they are equal in combat technique and power. And in real life, would Jason Statham not just be a stain on the bottom of Dwayne's boot by the time he was done with it?
Well, I don't actually know how... I don't actually know how Statham is in real life, because I know Dwayne is this huge hunk of a man. I mean, you have to be a bit of a psycho to be in Crank. So...
No, I think Jason Statham knows some Kung
people.
Fu, maybe? He's like, have you seen the video of him doing the bottle cap challenge where he does a
I have. See, that's the thing.
I doubt Dwayne could do that. However, Dwayne Johnson has...
Dwayne would break the bottle.
He has at least 100 pounds on him. Like, maybe more.
No, yeah.
And probably...
No, yeah.
And significant height advantage.
Isn't he like 150 kilos or something like that? I don't know what that is in pounds. Like 300 something?
Yeah, he's probably 300. Yeah, I'm not going to look it up. But he's probably 300. And Jason Statham, I would guess, is probably...
20.
Ounces. I don't know. The way I use weight now is I think of UFC fighters. Like, I'm like, who does he look like on the roster? He'd probably be like around 180, 190.
You think so? You think he's Adesanya level?
Yeah, because he's kind of... I don't want to say he's chunky.
Because he's not as tall, but he's more pudgy.
Well, he's in great shape, but he's like, he's a fit. Well, anyway, I think...
He's got that puppy fat around him.
We love you, Statham. No, I think, like, Jason Statham, if they were the same, like, pound for pound, if they were the same size, Jason Statham would probably win, because he has, like, technique. But if we're just taking the people, it only would take one punch. I don't think Jason could affect Dwayne. I mean, I guess he'd kick him in the balls, but also, Dwayne is, like, an athletic man as well. He's not just, like, a big lumbering, like, he does WWE, and, he probably has done...
He's gonna rock bottom Statham so hard.
And he could literally just pick him up, and, so we're giving that to Dwayne.
Yeah. Sorry, Stath.
Here's one of the more comic booky ones, one of the more classic podcasting sort of things. Something that, like, a person who doesn't listen to us would be like, oh, this is normal, as opposed to the past 20 minutes, which has been absolute nonsense.
The last 20 minutes have been kind of strange.
When I say nonsense, I mean nonsense at the start of the show. Batman versus Captain America.
Ooh.
Spicy.
Okay.
Should we say...
I know he's...
Shut up real quick.
Go on.
Should we say, for the sake of making this, should we choose a version? I think we got to go with the Chris Evans version.
Okay.
Like, prime
really
Evans.
Not the Tom Walker? John Walker?
Tom
Something
Walker. How dare you, sir? We're saying Chris Evans, let's say peak Evans would probably be, Infinity War Evans versus...
Infinity War Evans.
Batman.
Versus...
Let's say
old 1960 Batman.
Let's say Justice League Unlimited Batman, because that's what I'd consider peak Batman. So there are two peaks in my opinion, even though I know nothing about comics.
No, because it needs to be live action.
Fine,
otherwise,
Affleck.
I can't picture.
Otherwise, it won't look good in the thumbnail of this video.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you imagine?
Let's say Affleck BVS. He's probably pretty peak, because it's definitely not Justice League Affleck. It's certainly not peak Affleck.
Useless.
So
okay.
What are we saying?
Now, I know you're a huge Cap fan.
I am.
But in terms of brain power, he does not excel, does he? He's a little bit dim-witted.
He's not. Excuse you,
compared to others. I'm not saying he's dumb.
He's not. He's a great strategy man. I was trying to think of the word for it, but I just ended up going with strategy man. Stratician? That's not a word, is it? Anyway,
he's
good at tactics.
Here comes strategy man.
But I get what you're saying. Well,
I think Affleck's got him beat there.
But I think if we're
in terms of like raw brawn, Chris Evans obviously wins in real life.
Yeah, because the Affleck suit is like padded, and Affleck's a bulky man in BVS, but he doesn't have like literal the super serum gives him like
he doesn't have literal super strength, unlike Evans, who is a walking superhero.
The characters, the super serum does give him like extra abilities, and I think the thing is, the problem with it is, I think they're like decently close matched in terms of like physical abilities because of like the strength and the gadgets. It kind of evens out. But the thing is, so if it comes down to strategy, of course, Batman. However, if we're talking BVS Batman, he's a little bit dumb.
Dumb?
I mean, why wouldn't you load the bullets that he shot at Superman initially with the kryptonite? That would have been a good move to do. Remember that? It's a long time since we saw that movie. I don't blame you.
Yeah, that movie's kind of out of my head.
But I also think Evans has that, and by Evans I mean Captain America, has that grit and like he'll find a way to win. Like he'll tough it out.
I hear you, but hear me out.
Then again,
how
Thanos
about
did
what's Thanos did, but he is worthy. But that's not until Endgame, so
I guess that would be peak cap.
What?
Right, go ahead, sorry. I keep having just erratic thoughts.
For hours debating the peak cap. What is Captain America's girlfriend called again?
Peggy.
Peggy, goddamn. I think Batman would be like, he'd bring Peggy in, shoot her in the head, and then shoot Evans.
How is this a fight? This is just some weird Mission Impossible 3-esque hostage scenario you've engineered. This is not at all the
That's
show.
That's Affleck's way.
Then again,
He's
Affleck does... I don't know if there's anything sneaky about that. It's not very subtle, but Affleck isn't opposed to shooting his enemies in the head. So, Batflick, does enjoy machine gunning his enemies. So, we could... But then again, Captain America also uses a gun. But then again, Batman's suit is bulletproof. Then again, I'd assume Cap's is bulletproof. Holy shit, they're so evenly matched.
Oh my god. A stalemate.
I think you gotta give it to...
We mere podcasters cannot decide this. We'll have to see it happen.
We gotta give it to... Maybe I'll put a poll up on the BHL channel, because I've been putting up... It's quite fun, actually, just putting up random polls and just...
I would probably give it to Batman. You'd probably give it to Evans.
I'd probably give it to Batman as well. I'd give it to Batman generally, but if we're talking BVS Batman, maybe Evans. But generally, I gotta go Batman.
I do like how we said we had to go peak Batman, and now you're saying that this version...
Well, I wanted to go JLU Batman, but then you had to shit all over that, so you go prick.
Asshole, this guy.
God, why didn't I pick Yassine to do this podcast?
God, he would agree with Justice League Batman for sure.
Then we have I like this one. I like this one because it seems obvious initially, but then you take a second look at it and you're like, oh god, what a stalemate we have here. It's Jared Leto Joker versus Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Actually, it's very clear who would win now that I think about it. Because, okay, Joaquin Phoenix Joker, while a much better performance, is incompetent and not very good in a fight.
Unfunny.
And then, like, not very capable in combat and walks into glass doors a lot.
Yes.
Jared Leto Joker seems scarier, but also we don't see him do much combat. He jumps out of a helicopter, I think.
He survives a helicopter crash. He does have like special ops skills, doesn't he? He like comes in like military gear.
Yeah, but he
kills Common.
He does. That's the ultimate combat advantage. That's the first thing they teach you in Taekwondo
John Wick
class.
Struggle to do.
That's very true, actually. Wick is less than Jarrett.
Think about it this way. Would Joaquin be beat by John Wick? I think so. But
John Wick wasn't beat by Common.
No, but he didn't kill Common. Whereas Jared Leto did kill Common.
Didn't he stab him in the heart?
He stabbed him in the throat and said, consider it a personal courtesy, so go get help. Because he didn't die.
I think he's dead. I'm sorry about the seat, Freddy.
Common in real life.
I think that wasn't a stunt. I think that was a documentary we saw. Is there a way for Joaquin to win?
Against Jared? Or Common?
Against Jared! What's his path to victory here? Because, like, does he do anything? Like, he's sneaky.
He beats him in a dance battle.
That's very true. I cannot imagine Jared busting out any good moves there. But Jared also doesn't do anything besides killing Common, which, again, as we established, is the most insane thing a man can do. He doesn't do anything very impressive. So I guess on the basis that Joaquin does so many non-impressive things, I guess we give it to Jared that he doesn't do anything that non-impressive. Anyway, this is a bad one, to be fair. Well, the next one's way worse. I don't know what I'm doing when I make these. I've gone with Wolverine versus all of the Incredibles. These get pretty random sometimes. I don't know.
That's so stupid.
Okay, let's think about it. Because I was gonna do the Incredibles versus like what was it, like Thanos, and I was like, but that would be very easy for Thanos. So I was like, let's tone it down a little bit.
Well, okay.
All right.
The more you think about it, the better this one becomes. Because
I doubt it.
Wolverine he's immortal, right? He's invulnerable.
Yeah, he regenerates and he has a indestructible skeleton.
Yeah, well, Not quite immortal, but close enough. He regenerates.
Adjusts glasses? Oh, man.
God damn.
But
okay. So
what could any of them do,
Incredibles.
I guess, to beat him? He's susceptible. Ooh, here you go.
Okay.
Elastigirl, like, envelops him, and then Bob Parr breaks him in half now. Then Bob Parr throws him into a...
You can just end it there, and they've won.
Bob Parr raises his hands in victory. And then Bob Parr throws him into a lake because he can't breathe underwater. I just realized Elastigirl probably also can't breathe underwater.
Yeah, but she has a scuba suit. I think Wolverine is more of a
murder,
kind of like bit of a killing machine, whereas the Incredibles are they don't have any. I wouldn't say lethal power. I mean, they could kill a man easily, but
it's a reflection of the properties that they're part of. Since Wolverine's more R-rated and Incredibles is family friendly, so like we've seen Wolverine chop through people. We haven't seen Mr. Incredible rip someone in half with his bare hands. I bet he's done it though, off camera. It's 4 and/or 5 against 1. I think they probably got it.
Yeah, okay.
Some way or another.
If this is not a fight to the death.
Yeah, if it's a fight to till someone submits.
To the brink of death.
It's a fight until Hugh Jackman is almost bled out.
Till Bob Parr stands victorious.
Yeah, okay, The Incredibles, great. Next one, I'm a big fan of this one, I have to say.
Okay.
Aldo Raine.
Okay.
Versus Indiana Jones. 2 Nazi hunting men.
See, I have to say, I'd probably give it to Aldo. I know you're an Indiana fan, but he kind of just he fumbles around in a lot of his movies, doesn't he?
Okay,
he's also old and gray.
Well, okay, we're not talking like 2021 Harrison Ford Indiana. No offense, Harrison. I'm sure you're much more spry than most other like 80-year-olds, but we're talking prime Indiana in the 80s. I will say, I'll grant you, a lot of Indiana's...
You grant me? Go on.
I'll definitely not do that. A lot of Indiana's combat advantage comes from story-based or like environment-based moments, like...
It's plot armor at times.
A cliff will, they're approaching a cliff and he'll knock someone off the cliff, or he'll throw sand in someone's eyes. He's more of a scrapper.
He's more of a, it's happening. I improvise and I luck out and it works for me.
He has a good mix of combat skill and luck, but I think he does have some good fighting skill though. He beats up a bunch of people. He beats up that giant Nazi and his head gets chopped off by a plane. So he'll do that maneuver to Aldo.
But Aldo is a military man.
But Indiana Jones was in the military, I believe. Briefly, I think. In some backstory.
I believe he regenerates.
But I think Indiana. I'm trying to find a way for Indiana to be honest. Aldo. It's probably gonna be because Aldo's also a bit more brutal. Actually, Indiana Jones murders a lot of people. On grit alone, I'm gonna give it to Indiana because they seem like they'd be kind of evenly matched combat wise.
Okay. I don't know. I think grit wise, I agree with you, but I think Aldo is technique wise superior.
Fair. All right. Agree to disagree. This one's we can kind of speed round. Actually, how long have we been recording? Okay, we got time. But we'll speed run this anyway because it's kind of dumb. In a boxing match, Prime Rocky versus Prime Adonis Creed. So I think we're talking Rocky 4 Rocky versus Creed 2. Did I say Apollo? I meant Adonis. Creed 2.
No, you said Adonis.
Oh, okay. Creed 2 Adonis Creed.
Because if it was Rocky 4 Apollo, that'd be
a bit unfortunate. That would not be very fair.
I believe that's a crime.
So, in a boxing match, I guess you have to give it to Rocky because he's kind of like Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious-esque invincible in that film. He just fights like an enormous man and just keeps punching and punching. And Creed 2, Creed does the same thing, but not in the same ridiculous way. No, and also Creed 2, Creed gets all of his ribs broken or whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
So I like how you keep saying Creed 2, Creed.
Sorry, go ahead.
And also, obviously, if Creed fought Rocky now, he would beat the shit out of Rocky. But it is kind of like Rocky's kind of like the icon, the man you learn it from, not the man you beat. You can't beat him.
Well, unless you're Mr. T.
That is true.
Then you...
Whilst killing Mickey.
We've been over this. He didn't technically kill... You couldn't charge him in a court of law for killing Mickey.
I could, and I have, and I shall.
Well, yeah, I guess we gotta give it to Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky.
I mean, it's also because this movie is more ridiculous, but let's not talk about that. Then,
it's not a masterpiece like Creed, but anyways.
another cheeky little comic book kind of thing. We've got Thor versus Aquaman.
Okay.
Takes off glasses entirely.
Scoffs. Sir.
Embarrassing. That's gotta be Thor, right?
What a question. It's gotta be Thor.
Because especially if we're talking like Infinity War Thor, where he the moment with the Bring Me Thanos moment where he has that fucking axe and he's all lightninged up and shit. Like that. There's no version of Aquaman that would not get absolutely.
Aquaman, he can talk to fish. He's got strength.
He's super strong and he has impervious skin because he's used to sea pressure. But that doesn't make him impervious to a fucking giant space axe, I assume.
Yeah, true. I'd say most of Aquaman's attributes that he could use against Thor already has. And then Thor has a bunch more, you know?
Yeah, and Thor can fly. And
well, can he fly, or is it just kind of like his hammer that carries him?
Yeah, but we assume he has this hammer in this situation. Or the axe or whatever. Okay. Especially if Thor has both the hammer and the axe endgame style. I don't know. I'm thinking of Momoa Aquaman. I know there's probably a version of the comics that could beat anyone ever, but Momoa Aquaman, he's
well, I love Momoa Aquaman. He is great, but
he's delightful. But
against Hemsworth,
especially, yeah. I mean, if he can't get him in the water, and considering Hemsworth can fly, I think that'd be pretty tough. And Hemsworth also got hit by the power of a sun, and it didn't affect him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'd drown. He probably has super holding my breath skills. If Tom Cruise has it, then Chris Hemsworth Thor probably has it.
Yeah. Fair.
So yeah, we're gonna give that to Thor. No offense, Momo.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's hear it. I can see in your face it's a nutty one.
Fox Robin Hood versus Mugsy Robin Hood from the 2018 Robin Hood film. So the Disney Robin Hood versus the latest Robin Hood. Who wins in a straight up battle to the death? That answers it.
That being said,
that great point aside,
it'll have to be. And is this in an archery battle, or is this
actually, let's do an archery battle, because then Fox Robin Hood absolutely smokes him.
Yeah, he absolutely destroys.
He hit an arrow through an arrow, if you recall, while disguised.
He hit an arrow that was going off course with another arrow that then landed in the bullseye, and then hit another arrow into that arrow, splitting the arrow.
God, what did Mugsy do? Couldn't even hit Jamie Foxx as he was walking towards him.
And Jamie Foxx is 16 meters wide.
You're in great shape, Jamie Foxx.
It's harder not to hit him.
So, I think, so let's give that to Fox Robin Hood, who would, and then afterwards decapitate Mugsy. Unrelated to the event.
I thought that didn't need to be said. It's just obvious.
Let's see. We have 4 left. One of them is kind of an actually good one that people would be interested in. 4 of them are absolute nonsense.
Like I say interested as if what we're saying here is God sent truth.
It's a matchup that someone who doesn't listen to the pod would kind of be interested in, and then everything else is absolute just stupid.
So this is a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Thumbnail one. Okay.
A thumbnail one. Yeah, that's what we should call them. Ethan Hunt versus Jason Bourne.
Ooh. See, now I haven't seen 1 or 2 of the Bourne movies. I've seen the first one, and I've seen the Jeremy Renner app one.
Okay, I don't think the Jeremy Renner one's going to help you in this situation. Is he even in that one? Matt Damon, I mean?
Oh, Jeremy Renner. I don't know. I don't remember.
I've seen the first one and the most recent one, which I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of also just his skills in a general thing. So Jason Bourne is generally quite confused and upset but he's good at punching people.
Bit of a mopey bastard. I think isn't Jason Bourne more? I think Cruise is more large scale. I mean, also in real life, but like he can get into very strange scenarios like the Burj Khalifa helicopter chases and stuff like that. And if that was against Jason, Jason would get pummeled.
Yeah, he'd be. But I mean, what in a helicopter getting on contest, or what are we talking here?
Whatever they're doing,
who can survive the longest on a plane ride on the side of it? Yeah,
Jason does not even get on the plane. But in a street fight, I don't know, because we haven't seen we've seen him do some, but I imagine Jason Bourne's more technical with the little.
Yeah, and he probably is more.
You know?
I was gonna say gritty, but Cruise did remember that scene in the car park where he smacks his head into 8 cars and doesn't pass out. So I guess Cruise is the ultimate grit master, but
the Graster.
I think, yeah, but we also have to take into account, Bourne. What are his let's say gadgets? He uses a pen or something. Cruise's gadgets are a fucking, I don't know, what does he use? A thing that explodes a hallway to make it look like another hallway or something. That's not very useful in this situation. But Cruise has gadgets. He has probably a laser thing and when he cuts a hole in
peg on his side.
He gets a hole in the Burj Khalifa window. He could burn Bourne's eyes out with that. I don't know. I think if we take away gadgets, if they're just two, if they're in a UFC octagon,
2 boys in a locker room,
then Bourne will win. But if we give him any kind of gadgets, Cruise will win. I say they have gadgets. I say Cruise wins. Boom.
Boom. Okay. I'll agree, because I like Cruise more.
Then we have a great one.
Okay.
I'll start with the one I put last. Daredevil versus Poe the Panda. Speaking of thumbnail opportunities.
What a random mix-up.
So, because they're both martial arts people.
How sick of the head must you be to think of this?
They're both martial artists in ways. So
in various respects.
Poe has fought wild animals and, trained in the in the forest and in the mountains with Shifu.
Poe is also a wild animal.
Okay, seriously, could Daredevil beat up a giant panda? It'd be tough. A giant panda that can walk on 2 legs and fight kung fu? I mean, come on.
Who is the Dragon Warrior?
He's the Dragon Warrior. I mean, he has he deflected.
He's the Dragon Warrior.
He deflected giant.
My man went to the spirit realm and came back.
What's Daredevil do? I think Daredevil probably did that as well. Remember when he got buried by a building and then suddenly reappeared? Maybe they fought in the spirit realm. I've made an.
And only the victor emerged.
Swidment.
Where is Poe?
So, I guess. So
okay.
Could Daredevil beat up an actual panda? Just a normal panda?
Well, yeah, but Poe is no panda.
No, but let's just say baseline. So could he, defend himself? Because that would be pretty tough.
I don't think pandas are very difficult to beat up.
Let's say, it's a bear. Like a bear from The Revenant. Let's say he gets hit by a truck.
Let's say it's a dragon. Let's say it's 10 dragons.
Let's say he gets shot in the ankle. I think Poe...
I think Poe probably would.
Yeah, because he has, kind of almost magical powers, Besides the fact that he's a talking panda that does kung fu. So anyway, well, I kind of peaked with that one. The next 2 are really bad.
At least you're honest.
So
the listeners know what they're getting themselves into.
So next up we have the entire family from Knives Out versus Daniel Craig James Bond. So, I mean, he clearly would just tear through them like a hot knife through butter, but I'm trying to think...
I do like that you specified that this is not Benoit, because Benoit would lose to the elderly woman.
Immediately, but I think... Okay, the only one who would give him a kind of a tough, second would be Chris Evans, would it not?
Is the weird kid from It.
Yep. He would just kung fu the shit out of him. Is there any... someone could throw a brick, maybe? I don't know. They're sneaky, aren't they? They're sneaky, terrible rich people,
Are they sneaky? They
no.
don't seem very sneaky.
Well, Chris Evans is sneaky. I think Chris Evans could probably throw a brick. But then again, Daniel Craig James Bond probably would survive a brick to the head.
He eats bricks for breakfast.
He looks like a brick, kind of. So...
He'd be like, oh, hello, brother, as the brick hits him.
So, I mean, yeah, that would... Okay, let's put bets on, how long that would last, time-wise.
Okay, that's a better idea. I'm saying...
Let's say they can hide in the house. Daniel has to find them, because he's also pretty good, detective James Bond.
They get 20 minutes to hide,
And then it takes...
And then Daniel finds... Okay, 5 seconds.
I would say probably taking about
And that's me
10
being
minutes.
generous to the family.
Also, can you imagine a horror movie like this where like the entire
God
family has to
damn.
hide and Daniel Craig, James Bond is coming for them? That'd be amazing. Let's
It'd
write
be
that
way
down.
scary if it was just Daniel Craig.
And this one, I have to say, even though it's a terrible thing, I was really proud of it and I thought it was hilarious in the moment. It's really bad, but because I'll give the backstory afterwards.
Okay.
We have the Cat in the Hat versus Michael Myers. Now, the way this came about, so I was thinking the Cat in the Hat. I was like, okay, he's like kind of a horror movie. He's like a scary character. I'll put him against a horror movie character. I was like, ooh, like Freddy Krueger, not very good. I was like, who's the guy from Baby Driver who has the, like, from Halloween? And I was like, I looked it up and I was like, oh my god, it's Michael Myers. It's so good on so many levels. Boom. That's how this came to be. I'm glad, I got you up to date on the story of this entry. So, the Cat in the Hat from 2003's Cat in the Hat, played by Mike Myers, versus Halloween, Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
You've actually seen one of the Halloween films. I haven't seen any of them, but I know he has the
Did we not
ability
see it
to.
together?
No, but who do you think takes the dub here? Because the Cat in the Hat is a
I hate
feral
the Cat
monster
in the Hat.
who comes from an alien
True.
dimension and has absurd mask-like powers. The mask
And
with Jim
gets a
Carrey.
boner hat whenever he's aroused.
True.
I mean,
What does
couldn't he
Michael
just, like,
Myers do? Does he just stab people? That's not.
He just stabs people and he can't really die, I think? Isn't it like...
That might be a
he's
little
been-
tricky.
Couldn't the cat just like trap him in its weird dimension and then leave?
Yeah, I think that the cat could like do
Let
something.
him deal with thing 1 and thing 2?
Yeah, he could sick thing 1 and thing 2 on him. He could put him in his weird magical car. He could hit him with a baseball bat. He could do all kinds of stuff. He'd probably put the hat on him and then he'd turn into like a demon or something. Little known deleted scene from the Cat in the Hat where he does that. I'll give that to Cat in the Hat somehow.
Yeah.
Well,
somehow.
that is Versus Part 2. A horrifically terrible episode, but I hope you enjoyed.
I have to say, I did enjoy it.
I do like these ones. These ones where we match things against each other, and I like your Ellen-esque bracket idea for another episode.
Thank you.
Again, we can milk this one idea into multiple franchises for us that we kind of may or may not have nabbed from the Weekly Planet. Again, they don't have a monopoly on this kind of thing, but
goddamn, I love you guys. You're the best.
So now I do believe it's time for
Cnews.
This week's Tom Cnews, we actually it's a lucky
Do we
day.
have something for once?
Well, it's a lucky day when you get sent some Tom Cnews. In the mail.
I disagree.
So, bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com, our email. Samresh, listener of the pod, sent in this article, which, by the way, I can't verify if it's real or where it's from, so sorry that I can't credit you.
Samresh wrote this at home.
Well, he took a screenshot. It looks like maybe a Screen Rant article, maybe a Collider. I don't really know. But it does say, at first I'll just tell you, he accompanied it by writing, "so cruisy." So you can only imagine
So cruisy.
the content of it. So the headline is, Tom Cruise has been told to stop smiling during stunts several times. Known for doing his own stunts in Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise sometimes forgets that most people don't feel happy in the face of imminent death. So, I enjoy...
Honestly, that's kind of heartwarming, you know.
Well,
The Cruise constantly is close to death. I could kind of...
I think that's probably real, because he seems to love the... I mean, he wouldn't do it if he didn't have the, like, love and thrill for, like, these exhilarating moments.
Because just imagine the man's, like, risking his life, but just, meanwhile, he's having to be told, oh yeah, Cruise, you can't be sitting there laughing and smiling about it. Kind of...
Psychotic?
Maniac, yeah.
Yeah.
But...
That's where mine went.
Also kind of endearing, I have to say.
Well, fair enough. I was going in more of like the insane direction, but I appreciate your more optimistic view of things.
An insane maniac. I mean, an endearing maniac.
An insane, crazy person.
An insane sociopath.
But yeah, good on Cruise. He seems to... I mean, he has a pretty good life, I suppose. I guess.
Wouldn't mind having his life. Whatever.
But please, Cruise.
Please, let me take your life.
For legal
Your next
reasons,
stunt.
that's a joke. His Cruise turns up dead at BHL Hudson's house. God.
He's shipped to you in a Madagascar-esque box.
Why would you think of Madagascar? You could have just said any regular box, but you had to specify a Madagascar Xbox.
It's because you know that Cruise had like a little peephole you could look out at.
Why are we still talking about that? God, it's got very dark very fast. We love you, Cruise, and we hope you live forever. When you think
boxes, do you not think Madagascar?
Don't
lie.
He's got me. Anyway, now it's time for the announcements and such. Take it away, us, from a couple of days from now. And we're back for the announcements and such segment. What's up, Freddie? I got Freddie on the phone. How you feeling, buddy?
On the phone.
I'll take that as a good.
Things are not bad. Not bad, I'll say.
Well, let's just dive into some announcements and such for this week. First of all, we have the comments on Pod 79 were very nice, all very good. But let's just go through some of my favorites. First of all, Movie Guy says episode 100. We need the arm wrestle. So I think the people have spoken. That's going to have to be a part of the episode. I just didn't want to embarrass you in front of your audience. Oh, sir. Sire 05 correct. Finally, let me know once again because I forgot how to pronounce his name. So it is Sire.
Sire.
And he also says, "How dare you disrespect the masterpiece that is Grown Ups 2? You see, people like me and Freddie can understand and appreciate these complex works of art, but you, BHL, can only appreciate theme park Marvel movies. Shame." So
it's just shallow of a man.
So
Sire.
So you and Sire can start a podcast that if you want. JC Comics says there's no rivalry. BHL is by far superior to FTK. I gave that a like from the official pod account. GC Green says these last 2 episodes helped me get through some long car rides. Thanks for the entertainment. No problem, GC. Thank you for the fan art. And just a bunch of nice comments in general. So yeah, good stuff there. Then I had a bit of a Frederick moment, which is to say an extremely stupid, dumb man moment. Where I forgot to put in the selfie that you sent me of you without the beard for the listeners. So I'll put that in right here now. It's terrifying. Then JC Comics sent in this very good video that finally uses the UFC reaction as a meme, which I appreciate. And he also said that that's Freddy's reaction to Pirates of the Caribbean being in the F tier. So also very accurate. I'll put that in here. Oh, Then also, a lot of people have suggested for a while that I get a Letterboxd account, and I'm thinking about it. But I have to say, I went on there.
What is that?
It's like a thing where you like review movies and like you like log all the movies you watch and that kind of stuff. I've been thinking about it for a while. I think I might do it. But I went on there.
I think I won't do it.
And I found a guy already has the name BHL Hudson, and he's basically logged all of the movies that I've watched and reviewed and given them my review. So I'm like, well, maybe I don't need a Letterboxd account because this dude just took care of it for me.
That's so weird. What the hell?
Kind of awesome. So hey, shout out to that guy, I guess. I had no idea. So I'll see what I do. But yeah, thank you, whoever you are. That's pretty cool. It's like that time that guy like made a Spotify playlist of like my favorite songs from like Q&A. We'll see if I end up getting that. And then before the fan page, I'll just say on the pod videos, I will say, they're done. No, there will still be pod videos. I'm just saying, don't potentially expect them every week because I'm thinking because it's been a little bit of like just trying to pump it out so I get it every single week. But instead I thought maybe make like a quality, like maybe a 10-minute one, and it comes out like every other week or something.
We prefer quality over quantity.
Yeah, so, we'll see. I mean, hopefully there can still be one every week, but if there isn't, I'm going to try to make it more quality. And again, we've been talking about this for a while, but maybe some different stuff, some IRL stuff, some gaming stuff, we'll see. But so yeah, finally the stuff from the Key and fan page. Fan page is linked down below. First of all, I found a leaked photo of Freddy speaking to JC about his thoughts about the last 4 Pirates films, and it's you yelling at JC.
I didn't quite enjoy that.
And then green.griff says, forget a BHL versus Freddy fight, bring on the JC versus Freddy fight. So I think you've got many a fight on your hands.
That's insane.
And I really enjoyed this. My brain to me, because I'm way too hyped for Ben and Fred Watch The Gentleman, and it's, of course, calm the fuck down.
Also
very good. I mean, we can't confirm that that's the next Ben and Fred Watch because we would never reveal the mystery. But So do calm the fuck down. So thank you, Cian. And fan pages are linked down below. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, linked down below. And if you're listening there, we're on YouTube, where we post exclusive content, the pods, Benford watches, pod videos, you name it. I mean, that is basically all the exclusive content. I've gone through it all there. Maybe even gaming videos, who knows. So back to the pod. Wow, what crazy announcements.
Oh my god, I can't believe it was actually Simon Pegg that was in the box.
So, thank you very much for listening. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Twitter at FDK_DaltCypher. You can find me on Instagram at FDalgar, and you can find me on YouTube at FDK Space Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Tom Cruise.